What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another live video. This is not our regularly scheduled program, but because I have some car issues which left me stranded. I am late. I am late to the party, so I had to set call an audible like a good coach that I am. I had to call an audible on the play, and we're going for a Hail Mary. Okay, it's just what happens when life happens. You just gotta call an audible and keep it pushing, man. Don't let anything stop you from being great. And that's what Charlie Kirk would have wanted. He would have wanted you to be great. Oh, you black people. Charlie Kirk would have wanted you to be great. So let's be great together. Let's make America great again. Anyway, these was the rest of the videos that I didn't get to put up yesterday because it definitely ran long, and I want to just finish out what I was doing because I had a lot of good stuff that we can discuss. So, a black man did just get hung in college, but like I said, I'm late, and I had to throw an audible. I had to get something up there. But I have already videos ready to discuss that on another time. But details are still emerging with the guys hung at the black colleges. And it is sad and unfortunate. And we don't know what really happened. But I think I know. Anyway, and we're going to listen to the great white hope, Charlie Kirk. We're going to listen to his speech in just a minute. But before we do, let's get into some.
His life today, a devout follower of Jesus. Charlie Kirk lost his life today, a devout follower of Jesus Christ. He died because he had beliefs. Is that the country we want to live in?
By the way, please misspell your curse words in the chat. So if you want to get your stuff off, you can get it off however you want to. Just misspell the curse words. Speak like educated adults, okay? I believe some of you are, but if you aren't,
Where you literally can be assassinated from a distance because you believe in something differently. What was the goal today? To make people that have those kind of beliefs afraid? Because that's going to be the opposite. Because more and more of us are seeing through the BS. We are sick and tired of being labeled the problem. And I'm reminded of Isaiah 41:10, which it says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And let me tell you, the righteousness of God will come down on all of us. At the end of the day, you must choose to stand and do the right thing and realize that we are all brothers and sisters, and we should be able to have different opinions and still coexist. This stuff happens in third world countries, not the United States of America. And if we don't remember that and we don't lower the temperature of this country, we are heading directly into a civil war, and it's not going to be a good outcome. Together we stand, divided we fall. Charlie Kirk lost his life. Charlie Kirk lost his life because he had convictions and believed what he believed. And we live in a country where we should be able to do that. The left feels like, at this point, if you don't believe what we believe, then you will be silenced. And they want people to be afraid. But as a man of faith myself, I'm reminded of the Bible verse, Isaiah 41:10. "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." The righteousness of God will come down. We are in a period of darkness, and the light is about to expose all of it. We must not forget that we are all people on this earth. And just because somebody else has a different opinion than you does not mean they should lose their life. And if you are celebrating that today, just know that you are the biggest scum of scum. If you're using this as a political rally for gun control, you are a scumbag. My opinion. Wake up. Remember that we are all people. And we need to realize that we are being screwed and manipulated in real time. Together we stand, divided we fall.
Got Charlie Kirk, bro.
You're sick.
I've never been happier.
Never believe the reason I'm smiling. And it has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Nothing to do with Charlie Kirk.
Do you not see that we are literally in a spiritual warfare? That this is literally not about left versus right. It is now empirically clear that it's good versus evil. These people, I mean, you can see it, the demonic spirit, the lack of humanity, the just evilness of these people. The things they say, we're trying to fight against, the monsters they are. The lack of humanity, the lack of empathy, all of it is so disgusting. And I pray that whatever they experienced that led them to this path, that they find Jesus and they come back home, because they are so far lost. And I'm calling more and more people to stand firm in faith against the evils of this world, because if we don't, we are literally walking off the cliff. This goes on and on. If you're celebrating, you realize a mother and two children are now fatherless and husbandless. Don't do me the whataboutism. Stand with God. Stand against the evils. And don't allow these people to make you afraid. Do not be afraid. Stand up, and the light will always beat the darkness. Amen. We have breaking news. Tyler Robinson, 22, of Utah, has been identified as the shooter in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Now, early reports are coming out. We're not going to speculate of the political ideologies or even the motive at this point. Some people are saying that the mother has progressive-leaning views due to her work. However, the father was a sheriff, so it's really at this point, we need to step back. Okay, step back. I know we are so quick to want to get revenge, etc., but we are called by our faith to pray for that person, to pray for the evils that this person carried out, right? We don't want to become the same monsters that they are, okay? At the end of the day, justice will be served. Charlie Kirk's death will never go in vain. If anything, he has awakened so many more strong Christians, so many people on both sides of the aisle to say this was a travesty and a devastation, and this can never happen. This is not acceptable. But at the end of the day, though, we must unite. Together we stand, divided we fall. We have breaking news.
I just want to ask the chat, who are we standing united with? Just let me know, so I'm clear. If we like United States, are we standing with the United States, or are we standing like united with Christians or Republicans, like Christian Republicans over here, Democratic and all the whatever's over here? Like, are we uniting all these people, or are we just staying in groups? Because he's saying I don't know if he's calling to action, or if he's like really saying like we need to stick together. Because let me know, because I don't want to be walking out here, and because where I'm at in Oklahoma, it's a very red state. I don't want to walk out and get to going to shake my neighbor's hand and he popped me like, I don't know, I thought you were a Democrat. Like, you know, I don't want no beef like that. So somebody need to clarify if this man is talking about uniting, like January 6th uniting, or are we talking about like kumbaya, my lord? Like, what are we doing? I'm just saying, words can be tricky.
Tyler Robinson, 20. Breaking news, the mugshot of the suspected assassin of Charlie Kirk has been released. As you can see, this person looks like they're an empty vessel, soulless, demonic, if you will. And that's the only words I can describe such a heinous act. I am more convinced now than ever that we are in the depths, in the midst of a spiritual warfare. This is our generation's great war, the World War, that we are experiencing throughout the world. It's so important that we do not give into the anger and the hatred right now, that we saw something so tragic that our human brains are never meant to see on a regular basis. And unfortunately, it's becoming more and more common in today's world with social media. You had the Ukrainian refugee on the train, that video going viral. Charlie Kirk being shot in the neck, instantly being on the internet. At the end of the day, I know it's so tempting to say we need to get, it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault. We need to start pointing the finger at ourselves, taking care of ourselves, learning emotional intelligence. It starts with ourselves. If we become the best version, the rest will take care of itself. At the end of the day, the truth shall set you free. Stand firm. In Jesus' name, amen. These people are sick.
And I will not ever feel bad when bad
Sick.
people get what the fuck they deserve.
Charlie Kirk got shot?
Look at their eyes.
That's awful. That's so sad.
Just empty.
Hope he recovers well.
I just heard that someone shot Charlie Kirk. Dang it.
Are you awake yet? All of them, they all look the same. Their eyes are dead like fish. The spirit of the demons are prevalent in this country. The lack of
I also want to acknowledge that none of these people are like us. They're not like us. So please, whenever y'all start y'all revolution,
of empathy and compassion, the lack of humanity that we have normalized in today's society. The fact of the matter is that should never happen to nobody. For speaking words, that was his crime. He said something that you emotionally couldn't handle, and you just thought that violence was the way. The truth shall prevail, and the light will always win. Together we stand, divided we fall. Charlie Kirk was racist. That's what a lot of people say, and when I ask them what are they referring to, they like to refer to the pilot scenario when he said that if there's a black pilot, I would wonder if he's qualified. This is where context is so important, so let's read the entire context. It takes like 2 seconds to research. So here's the quote. You want to go thought crime? I'm sorry if I see a black pilot. I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. This is the rage. But let's go down, okay? Colvert says, you wouldn't have done that before. Kirk says, that's not an immediate, that's not who I am. That's not what I believe. Neff says, but it's the reality the left has created. Kirk goes on, I want to be as blunt as possible because now I'm connecting two dots. Wait a second. This CEO just said that he's forcing that a white qualified guy is not going to get the job. So I see this guy, he might be a nice person, and I say, boy, I hope he's not a Harvard-style affirmative action student, landed half of his flight simulating trials. Colvert says, that's such a good point. That's so fair. It also creates unhealthy thinking patterns. I don't want to think that way, and no one should, right? And by the way, then you couple it with the FAA, air traffic control. They got a bunch of morons and affirmative action people. This is why context is important, because at the end of the day, you want the best of the best, and you don't want them lowering standards just to reach a quota. We should encourage everybody to be great individually, and that's how we
okay, before I move on to the reason why that statement is racist, hear me out. Because if y'all look at DEI, a list of people that DEI helped, black people were 7th on the list. Number 1 was white women. So why did he have to say, if I see a black person, a black pilot, I'm going to say, well, I hope he's qualified. He was the 7th qualified individual good enough for that job, if he was for DEI. So white women If there's a white, I'm like, if I see a white woman as a pilot, I'm supposed to say, man, I hope she's qualified, because white women were the number one statistics who benefited from DEI, and that's all I gotta say. I don't care if it's racist. I didn't make the list. Whoever made DEI made the list. So when that's the reason why people are saying it's racist. You gotta take all context into consideration. It's not because he said it's a black person. It's because why'd he have to use black people as an analogy when you have six other individuals like white women, Asians, LGBTQ, it's something else. It's more that made it above black people. So hearing that, you'd be like, well, I guess he could have said, if I see a gay man, we are taking off, okay? Then we would be like, all right, this is number 3 on the list. But now, if he gay and black, he back in like 8, 9, 10. I'm just saying. Let's speak the facts. If we're not going to speak the facts, that's what we're here for. We're here to listen and learn. Okay? Charlie Kirk was a great man. Okay, I just want y'all to know that. He did not deserve to die at all. He was great at what he did. And pissing people off is what he did great.
I don't ever do this either. But if you're one of those people that are happy that Charlie Kirk got murdered, just unfollow me, delete me, block me, whatever you gotta do to make yourself feel better. But you are fucking insane. Now there are 2 babies that don't have their daddy anymore. Never gonna have their daddy back. A woman, a wife, has lost her husband. And you people are happy about it? You're insane. What's wrong with this world? You crazy people.
I think the only thing that's been more shocking than Charlie Kirk being unalive on that college campus today is seeing how many of y'all have been secret Charlie Kirk supporters in light of him being unalive that college campus today. Like, RIP to a legend, gonna miss the podcast, been a big fan of the podcast. Excuse the fuck me, Ryan. What did you just say? What did you just say? Like, we can acknowledge the man died without revealing that we've been chugging the conspiracy conservative Kool-Aid for a while now. Excuse the fuck me. And y'all had the audacity to sit back and let Palestinian supporters get thrown under the bus for why Kamala Harris lost. Meanwhile, you've been chugging the Charlie Kool-Aid? As if there is a crossover between being a Charlie Kirk supporter and a fan and being a Kamala Harris or a Democrat supporter. Like, are you noted? I think
They really just took Charlie Kirk from us, the future of the Republican Party, and think that we are going to just be silent. There are people that are laughing right now. You're one of them. And while the rest of us are feeling serious sympathy and empathy, there's a bunch of you that are laughing right now. I am sick to my stomach over Charlie Kirk's passing. This is somebody that like millions and millions have listened to for the last decade. And you sent in someone who's still on the loose apparently, some ideological freak, to take Charlie Kirk. You guys can't handle being told you're wrong. You have to end the conversation or end someone's life. You took a father and a husband and a child away from people. I can't stand the liberal Democrat ideology. If you subscribe to this and you're laughing right now about this, karma gets you, dude. It gets you from the inside. So you'll be gone far sooner than you realize. Something will just take you. Like a bad cut or something. You people are the sickest individuals I've ever seen. What I've seen, the people laughing. The people saying, what, the thoughts and prayers didn't work? You pieces of shit. You fucking suck. You know that? You think that this is funny? Charlie Kirk is dead because of your sick mainstream media twisting your brains because you're just children and you were able to get taken advantage of. And now you sent in some sick freak to take this man's life like you sent in Butler to take Trump's life. I fucking hate you people. I fucking hate you people. Thoughts and prayers. Unbelievable. I cannot believe Charlie Kirk is gone. I listened to this man for the last 6 years. 11 years younger than me. This man was brilliant. And that's why he got taken out. He was probably going to be a president someday, honestly. And they know that. And they sent this fucking freak in to take him out. Or whoever it is. These leftists, they're really trying to start something right now.
Wait a minute. So, what qualifies you to be a president? Okay, because first of all, is he on the DEI? Is Charlie Kirk considered DEI? Or was Barack Obama DEI? Before I go any further, because if that nigga only got a job because he was black, then maybe. But if we really want to say DEI, Hillary Clinton should have won. Hillary Clinton should have got the job because she was more qualified and a white woman and DEI. But instead, Trump got the job. And he did a fine job. Can we all agree? PPP loans was out the ass. We got that $1,200 cash in our pocket. Boy, I ain't seen so many rich Negroes running around America since. Okay? It was when that damn Joe Biden got in office that all the Negroes was going broke and turning on their Democratic Party. But Trump came back in 45-47. Hey.
How's it going, Charlie? I'm Austin. I just had a question related to Second Amendment rights. We saw the shooting that happened recently, and a lot of people are upset. But I'm seeing people argue for the other side that they want to take our Second Amendment rights away. How do we convince them that it's important to have the right to defend ourselves and all that good stuff?
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you. So I'm a big Second Amendment fan, but I think most politicians are cowards when it comes to defending why we have a Second Amendment. This is why I would not be a good politician, or maybe I would, I don't know, but because I actually speak my mind. The Second Amendment is not about hunting. I love hunting. The Second Amendment is not even about personal defense. That is important. The Second Amendment is there, God forbid, so that you can defend yourself against a tyrannical government.
Come on.
And if that talk scares you, wow, that's radical, Charlie. I don't know about that. Well, then you have not really read any of the literature of our founding fathers. Yep. Number two, you've not read any 20th century history. You're just living in Narnia. By the way, if you were actually living in Narnia, you would be wiser than wherever you're living, because C.S. Lewis was really smart. So I don't know what alternative universe you're living in. Yep. You just don't want to face reality that governments tend to get tyrannical, and that if people need an ability to protect themselves and their communities and their families. Now, we must also be real. We must be honest with the population. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price. Wow. And that is part of liberty. Wow. Driving comes with a price. 50,000 people die on the road every year. Wow. That's a price. You get rid of driving, you'd have 50,000 less auto fatalities. But we have decided that the benefit of driving, speed, accessibility, mobility, having products, services, is worth the cost of 50,000 people dying on the road. Wow. So we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. Right. You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, yes, by having more armed guards in front of schools. Yes. Yes. We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not.
Wait a minute. How many school shootings have we seen that they had a father in the home? In fact, it was the father's. You know what? Let him finish.
Not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at baseball games? Because we have armed guards outside of baseball games. That's why. How do we stop all the shootings at airports? We have armed guards outside of airports. How do we stop all the shootings at banks? We have armed guards outside of banks. How do we stop all the shootings at gun shows? Notice there's not a lot of mass shootings at gun shows. There's all these guns because everyone's armed. If our money and our sporting events and our airplanes have armed guards, why don't our children?
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so y'all wanted full context of what he said when he said, to protect the Second Amendment. Somebody, some people might have to go. And look, words are powerful. This ain't how we wanted you to go, Kirk. But, words are powerful. Words are powerful. So we ain't gonna talk about karma and speaking into existence. We ain't gonna go all spiritual and all that crap. We're just saying, arm young people and a young person, it don't matter what race he was. And he had a father in the home. I don't know if fathers being in the home or out the home is the cause of people shooting people. It may be because they got a trans boyfriend, or they got they was raised on welfare, or they was in the inner cities, they low educated, or they DEI, whatever the case may be. Guns are in the hands of the wrong people every day. Guns are in the hands of the wrong people every day. Now, should this young man been able to have a gun at your rally? Because all those people there were guns on the school property. Listen, we gotta keep it real with ourselves sometimes, man. Sometimes we shoot ourselves in the foot. No pun intended. But I'm just saying, you gotta go, you might do it. Okay, Cheddar Bob? If you got a gun, he might shoot your dick off.
Now they're coming after people who speak out against Charlie Kirk or mock Charlie Kirk's death. Literally, Pissy Pete said to report any soldiers that you see mocking or making light of Charlie Kirk's death, and they will receive punishment. Teachers are being punished and fired if they made light or mocked Charlie Kirk's death. What the fuck is going on? How is it okay for Charlie Kirk to have free speech and say whatever the fuck he wants about whoever the fuck he wants to say it about? But now, when other Americans want to say whatever the fuck they want to say about his death, y'all are trying to come after them and punish them and get them fired from their jobs?
Honestly, it's because it's ignorant. It's immoral. And as it may seem like a joke, because a lot of people, this is how social media works. We think shit is really funny. We make so many light of stupid ass situations. Now, let's take into context. How many people mock George Floyd? Now, I don't care about George Floyd. I'm not saying George Floyd was a martyr. I don't give a damn. You know what? I didn't even march. But I did show up. But it ain't had nothing to do. It was COVID. And everybody was outside. Let's go outside. But the one thing I started to see is all of the, I don't know who to call them. Do we call them MAGA or right wing or conservative or Republican or whatever? Whoever they were, they didn't care about George Floyd. They made mockeries, called them crackheads, meth heads, a baby killer, all that crap, all that, all day long. And it was ignorant. So, listen, same rules apply. Same rules apply. You can't be a hypocrite. The same damn rules apply. Whether it was a drug addict convict, George Floyd, or it was a racist, bigoted Charlie Kirk. Same rules apply. It's just a fact. So don't go do it. All right? It don't matter. It's not a good idea. It's not a good look in any sense. But you can't have an opinion without being a jackass. You know what I mean? You can't, like, I got an opinion. But, y'all getting my opinion. But, I'm making light of the dumb rhetoric. I don't care about, I'm not mocking his death because that's stupid. It's ignorant. And nobody should. But, again, do as you please. It's not y'all grown, y'all adults. But some of y'all, man, I don't know.
I hope when this is all over, you remember who fired first.
Republicans.
You've tried to kill the president twice.
Republican.
And now you've assassinated a man for talking.
I don't know who that is.
You don't really want to do this, okay? 400 million plus firearms in this country. They don't belong to the left, bro.
You see, I'm confused by this video because you said you tried to kill the president twice. Who shot first? Well, that was a Republican. But then you're going on and mentioning Charlie Kirk and insinuating that that's a Democrat, when we don't know who that is. And then you go on to say that liberals don't have guns. So we don't have guns, but we shot everybody. But it was Republicans that tried to shoot Trump. I'm really starting to think y'all don't put a lot of thought in these videos before you make them.
Charlie Kirk was my boss. I was the first black woman he ever hired for his organization, Turning Point USA. Years before I was Gabby Faye, the model, I used my government name, and I was Gabrielle.
Wait a minute. The model? Ooh, got a BBW model. Do something to do something. Anyway, see, Charlie not racist. He hired black people. She might have been a DEI, but he got one, okay? One black friend, that's all we need.
Gabrielle Fakir, political right-wing activist, grassroots organizer. working for Charlie Kirk. I have since changed my political views and stances on a lot of things. But I do have a few stories from back in my political days that I can share with you. I remember coming off of a political campaign working for another organization when I found out about Turning Point USA. They actually reached out to me because I actually have actually double majored in political science and psychology. That was my pre-law. I was going to law school, but on my graduation day for my first degree, I realized I don't really like school. I'm more of an artist. I'd rather move to LA and like be a starving artist and like do music and acting and stuff. I digress. My Caribbean parents were not happy about that. They would have preferred me to be a lawyer, but hey, it worked out. Now I'm on Times Square billboards and I model for Nike and I have a successful career. I'm very blessed. Back when I worked for politics, like I said, Charlie Kirk and his organization found me. They interviewed me. They offered me the job. I remember the very first day I walked into that room dressed to the nines. I had my suit on. I had my pearls. I had heels on. It was giving Olivia Pope, okay? I had to be on top of things. When you are the only Black woman in the room, you gotta work twice as hard. You gotta step your game up. I had a lot to prove, of course. I remember that first day I was walking to my seat for training and Charlie gave me the gummiest, biggest smile. He was so happy that I was there, like, you know, like I was overly qualified for the job. And
Cap. Stop the cap. He was like, who hired up? I know we got some qualified white women in here. You hired it. Make sure she extra qualified. Charlie Kirk double checked your resume, so you must have been really, really qualified, ma'am. Or you was a DEI hire. I call cap on that, but whatever. Let's keep going.
I remember Turning Point flying us out to Chicago, which is where Charlie's from. We were the outskirts, and they gave us hotel, like a really nice hotel, and we had like the weekend to kind of hang out and just have fun before like the real work start. So it was like 9 p.m. and we all got dressed in our bathing suits ready to like go to the hot tub. And I remember walking past Charlie and like his group with like me and my group. Like my group was the party group because we just like wanted to have fun. So I remember inviting Charlie. I was like, Charlie, you're gonna go to the hot tub with us? And he was like, nope. And you just knew that this guy, he was keeping his nose clean. He was not trying to mess up or put himself in a position to be judged later on when he's running for president or running for office. So like, you know, like he just had this sense to know that I don't want to be in a compromising position where they could use this against me later in politics because that's how the game goes. I respect it, honey, okay? I was trying to have fun. We were having the time of our lives because, like, the other coworkers, like, we all just got there and we were just like, yeah, like, you know, like, so it was really fun, lots of laughs, good times, until it wasn't, okay? And I can get into that as well, but yeah, that was like my first day. You know, fast forward and I can get into details if you guys wanted to comment below what questions you have. I did experience really bad treatment. I did experience racism. Honestly, working for Charlie Kirk and this organization is what woke me up to the sad realities of some people's prejudice against me. And the fact that I stood my ground on certain things and I just didn't see eye to eye to a lot of the ideologies being pushed in place. So I was like, I'm not sure if this is it for me, you know? Yeah. The first day of work was awesome. The first weekend was really fun. Charlie Kirk was my boss.
So pretty much, her mama told her, girl, it is hot in that kitchen. Don't touch that stove. Being the big, fine, and fluffy girl she is, she had to go taste the porridge. And if it burnt the roof of her mouth, and now, if it walked like a duck, it might be a dog. I don't know. Or it might just be a duck, motherfucker.
I find it so ironic that Charlie Kirk was shot at an all-white event. Because if it was a lot of black people in the crowd, it would have never happened. Because their security measures would have been top tier. They would have never allowed nobody in there with a weapon. See, but when it comes to all white events, they're so lenient on those security measurements because they act like white people are not violent. This is the result you get when you go on tours rage baiting. You just run around the world rage baiting people in real time. When you're supposed to be some kind of political figure, some kind of public figure, and you run around rage baiting, you say racist things, you act like you're untouchable, and then this happens to you. This is what people are going to mostly remember about you. You be creating these looks and these ideas about who people are, and you want to speak about gangs and mass shootings and all that, and one of your own people did it to you. Because you have something to say about anybody because you're doing it for the views. This is what happens when you rage bait in real time. He will talk bad about anybody. He'll put anybody down. He wanted to be so in the club. He wanted to fit in so bad. He wanted that white power so bad. He really wanted to be promoted to that white power. Yeah. And that's who took him out. That's so crazy. You think you Trump. He think he's Trump. See, Trump liked to rage bait. Trump liked to say whatever he want. Trump likes to talk bad about anybody. But he got Secret Service. He got people who will take a bullet for him. You don't. You do not. And it happened at an all-white event where you guys felt, this is the MAGAs. This is my people. They got my back.
I just want to point out that the Democratic Party has had a far more sensible and reasonable response to the Charlie Kirk shooting than the Republicans, and this is not even up for debate. And I'm not talking about random people online. I'm talking about people with influence in the Democratic Party. Obama said, we don't know yet what motivated the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk. This was the day of. But this kind of despicable violence has no place in our democracy. Michelle and I will be praying for Charlie's family tonight, especially his wife, Erica, and their 2 young children. Joe Biden said something similar. There's no place in our country for this kind of violence. It must end. Jill and I are praying for Charlie Kirk's family and loved ones. Kamala Harris said, I'm deeply disturbed by the shooting in Utah. Doug and I are sending our prayers to Charlie Kirk and his family. Political violence has no place in America. But some of the most prominent Republicans online who've been invited to Trump's White House by him had a different tune. For example, Libs of TikTok said this is war. Gunther Eagleman, they've declared war. Joey Manorino said Democrats should be labeled as terrorists. Elon Musk said if they don't leave us in peace, then our choice is to fight or die. What? Laura Loomer said that Democrats are a national security threat and said that Democrats randomly should be investigated for no reason. This is someone who's at the White House like every other week. Every major Democrat who's actually elected or has been elected or has influence in the party has come out and said we condemn this 100% and it's wrong. But the Republicans, many of these influencers are declaring civil war. What? I just want to point out that the Democratic Party...
Is he right or is he wrong? Because I just said, like, it's wrong. But the guy in orange a few videos back said, all us Republicans, we got our guns. Bruh, ain't nobody trying to fight you. Fuck. I'm trying to go to work tomorrow. Make sure I got health insurance for my kid. And make sure I got a running vehicle tomorrow so I can get some gas, put some gas in my car, and I could, roll that mug down the street. I'm trying to live my shit day to day. I ain't trying to go to war over Charlie Kirk. Do you understand what I'm saying? I wasn't going to war over George Floyd. I'm definitely not going to war because you want to make a war over Charlie Kirk. That ain't that. White people, leave my black ass out of it. Y'all figure it out. This is y'all's war. This is y'all's battle to deal with amongst yourselves. Now, if y'all want our assistance, I will gladly call the play. I will gladly be like, hey, all right, listen, we got to speak to this person over here, so hold steadfast, hold your horses. Let me go talk to the other brother who's the other mediator, and let's work this out. But y'all can't be shooting amongst each other because this shit is getting wild, okay? I prayed for 33 hours that it wasn't one of us. I prayed and I prayed that it wasn't one of us, and it wasn't.
I don't know when or if I'll post this, but today's September 15th and it's 9:05 a.m. and yesterday at 5 p.m. I was fired from my job for posting a video saying I don't care about Charlie Kirk's death. In the video that I posted, I specifically said I wasn't celebrating it, but that I just don't care. And yet I was still fired from a job where my role was to increase educational equity to all students. That was my job. That was like, wasn't really just my job, it was like my identity too. I think that's been my whole career. Like, how can we get the highest quality education to as many students? Before this job, I worked at a nonprofit where I taught reproductive health to LGBTQ youth and youth in foster care in Dallas, Texas. And like, that was hard, but after I did it, I was so proud of myself, and I told myself I wouldn't go back to a job where like I couldn't be my authentic self, and I thought that's what I had in my job. And actually, the funny thing is I wasn't fired for saying that I don't care about it, because everyone on my team agrees with that, or everyone I've talked to, and people can say that, and I would have been okay to say that in my team chat at work. But I was fired because I was doxxed by someone who knows me, and they posted my job and my LinkedIn to the white supremacists. And so that's why I was fired, not actually because of what I said, which also hurts because like I was good at my job. I liked it a lot, and I feel so grateful because my coworkers have been reaching out to me and just like telling me they'll be my references and making sure I'm okay. And it feels good to know that I built a community there and that the people there see my character of what it was. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. Sorry. I don't know if I'll post this. But I know that in the end I'll be okay, and this isn't the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Honestly, it's not by a lot. I will be okay. I'll find a job like that I like and doing something that's important to me. And I know that because if this hadn't happened, I was on the track for promotion at my other job. Like, I know I'll be okay, but it just hurts to be left out to dry.
Well, listen, man, I feel for the girl. Again, I guess it depends on what type of job you have and who's your employer. You know, all of the jobs who are firing people probably have right-wing supported values, which is a lot of jobs. Okay. And hence the reason I would never talk about a president, past or present. I will never talk about a president because my job is like, hey, listen, stay your black ass out of politics. I said, you know what? I got a C in political science. I'm stick with what I know. But Charlie Kirk's not a politician, so we're gonna talk about it. And one thing, oh, you know what? This guy I work with, all right, he about 70 years old. He's still working hard than a mug too. He wears his Trump hat every day. Sometimes he wears his Trump shirt. And you know what he say when he come in to work? Hey, PJ, how's it going? Shakes my hand. What's up, buddy? And I was just like, man, this is the most right-wing person I know. I don't know no other person more. I don't have Trump friends. I'm sorry. I don't. Maybe I do. But I don't think I... Oh, well, I got a couple. Older white guys. But, hey, Whatever your political belief is, run it. I don't care. But I was like, this guy, I know he got a F-150, got Trump 2020 on that mug, Trump 2024 on that mug, flags flying, America flying. He probably got a big America tent on his car with a bald eagle just spread out. I was like, he gotta be one of them, right? Nope. He drive a Toyota Celica, a foreign car. I was like, boy, ain't this some bullshit? I feel like he cheating on MAGA, driving that goddamn Toyota, little bitty two-door inline six, that 2JZ motor. What the hell was he thinking? We need American-built muscle under that hat, okay? It was very interesting. I was like, why'd you do it? He said, this has been my dream car. But instead of him buying an old one, like in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s or whatever the Celica came out, he said, I got the money to buy a new one. So I did. And I said, damn right, brother. Damn right. And I shook his hand. We spit our dip out together and, we talked more Trump politics. Now, we never talk Trump politics. I don't even give a shit about politics. Because can't nobody tell me nothing about Trump policy. So I just don't even have a conversation with people. What are we talking about? But what we do here is stuff about Charlie Kirk. And everywhere, everybody's sharing the same clips over and over and over. No context. So if you have no context, you just sitting over here sharing. I ain't sharing none of that crap. I ain't sharing none of it. I'm not gonna go up here and be like, oh, Charlie Kirk's a racist, because I don't know him. But the shit he say, it seemed racist. So you gotta listen to it. When you listen to Charlie Kirk, he not a racist. He might be a bigot, but there's a difference between a bigot and a racist. It's because he's targeting black folks, but he's not saying nothing that we black folks don't already know about ourselves. Only thing is he qualified to say all this stuff? Is Charlie Kirk qualified to say all this stuff? The only qualifications that he has is he got the same amount of qualifications I have. I got a platform, he got a platform. You use your platform to talk about black issues. I use mine. I talk about black issues, but just messier. You know what I'm saying? But we got the same rights. We got the same qualifications. The only thing is, if I do a hairstyle video about some girl who went to a hairstylist and got messed up, I know that because those are my people. I got 4 sisters I was raised with. I know her, But if I was to talk about why, man, I don't even know many white things. I'm trying to think of the whitest thing I seen my friends do. Because when I started going to suburban schools, I started having white friends, and they was doing white shit. Okay? And like huffing Freon out of a air conditioner vent or whatever. I don't know what it was. Or cussing their parents out. Because black folks, we don't do that. In no black home will you see a black child cussing out their parent without them being knocked in the next week. But it was frequent in the white community. But I don't go around talking about, oh, shoot, man, you know what the problem is with you white folks? Y'all just let y'all kids cuss y'all out. Just because I seen it once or twice, I know some white mamas that'll slap the shit out their kids if they disrespect them, not just beating on them. I'm talking about, I know, okay? So, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you, if I was just say, I know all y'all white folks cuss out y'all let y'all kids cuss out. You'll be like, no, we don't. No, we don't. Little Jillian will never raise her voice to me with those foreign filth words coming out of her mouth. The thing about the Christians, I'm a Christian. We should love each other, right? My love doesn't come to be like, I'm not so much of a Christian that I ignore Christian values. Charlie Kirk used Christianity and white people to push his unethical rage bait. This is what we're going to call it, rage bait. Because even though some of it was right, but using Christians as a ploy to say, I'm the good guy, but I'm the good guy. No. I listen to some form of church or uplifting spiritual worship every morning, coming from white men, black men, white women. I don't know how that white woman got in there. Maybe she was DEI, but however the hell she got in there, I listen to her. She's great. But the fact of the matter is, if y'all know Joyce Meyer, she great. The fact of the matter is, they don't none of them say this shit. Don't none of them be like, you know what? I was talking to the Word of God, and he was talking about how black fathers aren't in the home. I would be like, now Joel Osteen, what the freak do you know about black fathers not being in the home? Because that ain't Christian. You can't preach Christianity and spit bogus ass rhetoric online. It just ain't gonna work. It won't work. It'll never work. And then when people say, it was a guy, a few videos, we watched this video. He was like, y'all listen to the left wing, far left wing media and all this stuff, but you listen to Charlie Kirk and you don't think that's far right? Media? It's all the same thing. We all getting brainwashed. You know why they call it programming? Because they programming your stupid ass to believe what they say. And you're gonna hear some talking points and you're gonna listen and believe. That's why words are powerful. And y'all gotta start paying attention who y'all getting these words from. Man, who are you? If you're not tuning into God every day, but you tune into Charlie Kirk every day, what you think your mindset gonna be? If I tuned in, if I woke up and I listened to gangster rap every morning, talking about 6 in the morning, police at my door. If I listen to that every morning, one morning I'm gonna wake up in the 6 in the morning, it's gonna be police at my door because I done brought all that bullshit into my life. So if you listening to that instead of listening to something powerful, but you a Christian, but you listen to Charlie Kirk more than you listen to your pastor, then nigga, you listen to the wrong stuff and you need to figure it out, and y'all never gonna figure it out, because if you blaming the far left media or you blaming the far right media, y'all listening to them too much. Y'all don't even listen to y'all's kids that much. How many of y'all have a conversation with your kids for an hour and a half every day, but you listening to bullshit like that? I don't understand it. Turn off the radio, talk to your kid. Tell your kid put your phone down to talk to them. And then you wonder why they out here shooting up schools and shit. Not just white kids, black kids, Mexicans, everybody. All y'all kids is effed up because we so busy focused on baddies, goddamn Charlie Kirk, goddamn Oklahoma Sooners, Boomer Sooner. The game's this Saturday. We're going all the way. You drive all the way to the game. You ain't said one word to your kid. You made your kid come. They're like, my dad's making me go to the game. They texting, fuck my dad. He's making me go to the. They don't even care. But you won't even stop and talk to them to listen and find out if they even want to go to the game. But this is why I say y'all gotta stop taking in all this bullshit and really, focus on what's really going on in life. Y'all stop listening to all the bullshit. Stop listening to the Power 103 Breakfast Club messiest interviews every day. First thing you wake up, you getting some mess. Oh, so and so said this and so said that. First thing you wake up, you turning on Charlie Kirk. First thing you turning on is MSNBC. Don't even turn on the news. Turn on the news, put that bitch on mute, and just wait for the weather to come up and then look for the weather. At first time, when the news first come on, what they talk about? So-and-so got shot over here. Another robbery over here. There was a 3-car pileup. Then they get to the weather. They get to the traffic. And then they get to the, 4 people done died and everything before you even got to the weather. And your mind is all fucked up. You don't even know why. Because of what y'all taking in first thing when you wake up. Y'all taking in hours and hours and hours of crap all day. I do too, but I work for it. But, first thing I wake up, I pray. I get my God work in. I talk to my kid. When I get them in the car, we shut everything off. And I like my music loud. I turn that shit down. I talk to my kid. How was your day, baby? You got homework? You got you just that. How was volleyball? We good with that? You meet some friends? Did you have to cuss a bitch out today? Whatever the case may be, focus on your shit, and then you won't have a little school shooter in your house. But anyway, everyday people, make sure y'all